Everyone, I'm Gemma Star and welcome to another episode of Heart Warriors. This is a series I've been inspired and guided to do. Thank you to my energetic connection with Katajuda, which is this rock formation behind me, the sacred masculine site in Central Australia, very close to Uluru, which is the sacred feminine site. The series has come about to give a platform to men to speak of their journey, their experience, their inner journey into the heart. What does that feel like? What challenges do they face? How do they overcome it? What are the tools, insights, resources that they have to offer other men who are also walking this path? Today, I have a real badass called Andre Popa. And he's over there in the States and a forerunner in the Truther movement. He's also a mentor and a coach. So I'm really excited to hear what he has to share with us all today.
I apologize for the confusion.
Oh, okay. We're good. Andre Popa, welcome to Heart Warriors. How are you doing today?
Amazing. So cool to connect with you.
At first, I want to say huge congratulations to the relaunch of George, and you're playing a big part in that. And those of us that are in the Truther community understand the significance of that. So here's to George. Congratulations.
George. There it is. Thank you so much. You know, it's amazing. I mean, what an honor. I never, ever in my life, like most of us entrepreneurs, we set out, we have goals and we're going to achieve certain things. Never did I think, or was it in my space, that George and I would somehow one day connect, but there's a bigger power somewhere, man. It's incredible. I'm speechless.
Definitely. Oh, we're also looking forward to that. Can you give us an insight into the man you are today, Andre? And then we'll take this hour and a half to jump back and see how you got here.
Wow, the man. That's a loaded question. It's going to be a loaded answer. So the journey of being a man today, being a father today, being a husband today, being an entrepreneur today, being what society is looking to constantly knock down, this concept of being a man and a father and a responsible father and a husband and a faithful husband at that. Because if you look at society today, all they're preaching and indoctrinating is the opposite of maybe what we're going to talk about today, is what it looks like to be a man, to be a husband, to be a father, to be a friend, to be a businessman, a responsible hunter and gatherer, right? So today, I do pride myself on the fact that I'm married 22 years. I have a phenomenal wife. She's hot. My slogan is that I married up. And another thing for me is huge, because you look around society today, there's so much promiscuity out there, and I've been faithful to my wife 22 years. We have two amazing daughters. We homeschooled them for many reasons. They're not vaccinated. They've never had an antibiotic in their life.
Wow.
They've traveled the world. They're 19 and 20, and they've been to 32 countries, and it's about to become 34 soon. So, there was maybe a calling or a spirit inside of me early on, knowing that this system, this can we cuss here?
Oh, go for it.
Oh Lord. So this fuckery, this matrix, this system is it's just designed so well, and it's what they want us to do, and what we have to fight against is what this whole game is today. Because you said the Truther community, and I believe all we're looking for is truth. We're not looking to, this guy bad, that guy good. No, just give me the truth and let me deal with it as an adult, as an Australian American. Doesn't matter where you are in the world. We're human beings. So luckily my wife and I connected really well on the concept of, hey, there's this thing's pretty fucked up. This system, whatever they're trying to indoctrinate us with, and the foods and the juices that they stick in the arm, and the stuff they spray in the sky, and the media and the cartoons that the kids were brought up on. It's like, my God, we're surrounded by toxicity. And now I'm supposed to be this phenomenal man in this whole system that's designed for me not to be a man. So today it's literally a daily effort to do more, to become more. And in that journey of becoming more, the only thing that I've known to do is, once I master something, the only other thing I can do with that thing is to share with somebody else, share with the world. So hence what we do for a living today in our businesses, etc. We look to share with the world all of these things that we've learned, we've become, we do on a daily basis. So I guess in a nutshell, that's, I don't know, that's sort of who I am.
How do you think your wife would describe you as a man?
We should ask her.
Ah.
I think you should have her on the show and ask her yourself.
You there?
I think for her, because no matter what we've been through, up, down, we've had millions, lost millions, got them again, made more, lost more. So we've, this beautiful journey of entrepreneurship, because guess what? Nobody taught me money. Nobody taught her money. So it's like, we want to make money. We want to make a lot of it because we enjoy what it brings. But there was no schooling there. So with that came the roller coaster. So through the journeys, the hardships, the phenomenal ups, phenomenal downs, we stayed consistent and we stayed in love. And we always knew that if our foundation was solid, like nothing, no one can enter that foundation, then we can build anything, any skyscraper upon that solid foundation. So I believe for her, I believe she would say that I'm a solid rock. I will create for my family. I'll fight for my family. I'll protect for my family. And she also knows my heart in helping humanity grow. So I think that's what she'd say, or she better anyway.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Andre, can we jump back to your childhood? What would you say was your greatest challenge growing up as a young boy?
Well, there were, I mean, the superficial or the surface challenge was that I immigrated to America at the age of 9. We didn't speak a word of English, didn't have any money, so we had to go create ourselves, literally. So that was like sort of surface. My greatest challenge that I had to learn throughout the years was my father. My father was it was the nicest man you could meet, like funny, nice, giving. Like he would give if you needed his house, he would give you his house. But what that came with was a lot of pain that he went through that he never dealt with. So because of that pain, he was very, very hard on me. There were 6 of us all together, but for whatever reason, because I look just like him, he's passed now. But for whatever it was, he was very, very hard on me, and he mentally beat the shit out of me. And obviously, as a teen, I didn't know what to do with it. Early 20s, I got some anger. So my greatest challenge as a child, even though I was not conscious, was the mind fucking of my father, telling me I'll never mount to anything, I'll never become anything. Money changes me. Money's not good for me because I become this with it. Actually, even before he passed, I mean, I'll bring it all the way forward to, I'm going to say about 4 years ago, when I started or getting bigger on doing Facebook lives or doing videos, etc. He somehow heard of the concept that, Andre does videos, and there was no success that I could possibly achieve for him to say, wow, fucking amazing, congrats, you're my son, I love you, anything, like any positive, like a fist bump, anything. So it was never there. So we're at dinner celebrating my mom and him, their anniversary, and he says to me at this big table, it's my mom between us, and he says, hey, I heard you're doing some kind of like online videos where you're teaching people stuff. And I said, yeah, it's, you know, blah, blah, blah. And it's going great. He's like, but what do you possibly have to teach people? Boom. So I'm like, wow. But that was my father. It was just him. So I had to learn through the years to flip that script into, he did the best he could. I know his heart, and I also know his pain. He was speaking and doing all that shit through his pain. He was a phenomenal philanthropist. So again, he would give his life. He was very religious, very Catholic. The Pope was God. I mean, we disagreed obviously across the board on all that. But anyway, so phenomenal man, but he beat the shit out of me, which eventually got to my subconscious. So funny enough, because of that, I am today who I am, and I do for a living today Badassery Factory, basically because I had to crawl my way out of that hell and be able to survive and thrive as a badass.
At what point, Andre, did you realize that that was more his issue than something that you had to take on board?
You know, I don't know at what point, but you know, are there still lingering things from that in me somewhere? There have to be.
Yeah.
There have to be, because I went, 20, 30 years of shit. So does that, number one, it never disappears, right? Because we don't ever get rid of habits. We don't get rid of pains. We don't get rid of trauma. We don't get rid of anchors. We replace them as to what we focus on. So we do have that ability. I have that ability. So I obviously had to teach myself new patterns, new ways to focus on me being amazing, happy, phenomenal creature of God, whatever. So I think it was a evolving learning and a wake up process for me to say, yeah, I know he just said that, but is that true about me? Am I a piece of shit? Am I stupid? Am I an idiot? Does money really make me a bad person? So once I figured out that no, that's not the case, because every time I do make a chunk of money, I help people. Like one thing that would trigger for us is whenever Christmas would come around, I would buy everybody all kinds of shit. Like I would just spend money. And he had a problem with that. It's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I bought my sister a computer. I spend money. And I'm, 20, 21, 22. Money always came easy for me to make. So I always knew that it came easy, given you shall receive. It was just a simple, for me at least, a vibrational law. So, but boom, he would attack that and, stick his stuff in there. What are you doing? You're you're showing off. What attention are you looking for? This is supposed to be about Christ. Anyway, so there's just been so much of that. I had to get to a place of like, no, hold on a second. Money actually is phenomenal for me because I'm able to do what I want. And also I'm able to help people. Like I just bought my sister a computer. That's a good thing. So maybe you're fucked up. Anyway, so it's a process. It's been a process. And I think it might be a process for the rest of my life as things pop back up. Like right now, you're bringing things up that, because I don't sit around thinking about this or talking about this, but what's amazing is everybody has stuff, and what we do with it is what it's all about.
I was going to ask you, how does someone overcome that deep programming that we get as children as to the narrative our parents bring us up on? How do you overcome it?
Well, so my smart ass answer is you can't, you're fucked, it's over. But that's just me trying to be funny.
And with that, we'll close the show.
Good night, everybody. Want to pick up the mic, drop the mic, it's over. All right. So the concept of baggage, right? And funny enough, in my business today, in Badassery Factory, and our coaching and speaking on stages around the world, this is funny enough what we focus on. We call the baggage that we all have, just like we just talked about some of my baggage. I'm sure there's more. We take situations like daddy called me fat. All right, so daddy just called me fat, but was it true? What did I do with it? Did I build a story around that situation? Because before it was a problem or an anchor in my subconscious mind, it was just a thing. It was just my dad saying, you're a fat pig. All right, cool. So now what we create in the process is up to us. So most people, like me, I took that shit on as early childhood. I'm like, oh my God, Daddy says I'm a big fat pig. All right, cool. So I created a monster out of it, right? So I now create stories and images around the fact that my dad called me big fat pig. And what I do now is I create around the story now, I give it truth and reality. So therefore it has to be true because now I think about it 1,000 times. So through repetition, it becomes true. As soon as it becomes true, it gets stuck in the subconscious mind, which is basically our computer program, which is right here in the chest torso area. And now I have this weight and I call them bricks. So every little situation that becomes an anchor is a brick. So now, how many bricks did I collect in my, because I'm 52 now, how many bricks did I collect in this 52 years? And all of a sudden now we have this bag of bricks, just like Santa Claus has this sack on the back, we have a bag of bricks, and we're trying to kick ass in life, be a phenomenal husband, father, a wife, a mother, whatever you want to be. But we have this shit that we're collecting in the journey, but we're looking to be amazing. We're looking to do big things, but I can't because I have 1,000,000 pounds on my fucking back. So the big question is, are we stuck with that stuff? Well, you can be, and most people do get stuck with that stuff because they now identify with it. So as soon as you identify with the problem, with Daddy called me fat, so of course today I am chubby or fat, right? Because it's been told to me and I have this disorder and I have, thyroid issues, and we create a bunch of shit around the original story. So now the bricks keep popping like popcorn. And now we start to identify and we give life, not just to the story of Dad, but to the existence of the truth that I have to live by based on the blueprint that I created since Daddy called me a big fat pig. So now I'm doing life from this blueprint. And my only job, because of the ego conscious mind, is to make that blueprint true. So if I lose weight, that means the blueprint is false. That means my whole identity is shot. So now I look to protect the blueprint, stay fat, stay miserable, stay ugly, stay all that shit, because that's what makes sense here. I have now identity in being a big fat pig because that's how I see the world based on the past. And if I change it, nobody will like me. So we go to protect that blueprint and those anchors and those bricks at all costs until all these pains and anchors, what they do is they physicalize. Every thought, every image that we hold, every word we speak, and every belief that we have, guess what? Their vibration. That vibration manifests in the physical body. So people say, well, I had cancer because it runs in my family. And I'm like, yeah, you're full of shit. That's not true. Epigenetics will prove you wrong. It's 100% based on your thoughts. So the big question is, and the reason I bring that up is because most of the time it takes people to get into a serious problem where life just comes to a halt because they have a disease, they got some kind of issue, physical stuff, etc. I don't want to name off diseases, but you get my point. So when life brings that life to the halt, they'll say, shit, I have a problem. What am I doing wrong? So these are opportunities for people to change, to grow, to alter, to start replacing or flipping the script on the bricks. Outside of those moments, you have a few people, just a few people that are waking up to, hey, why am I always complaining? Hey, why am I being mean to my spouse? Hey, why does money disappear? Hey, why do I have more bills at the end of the month than I have money? So there's more month than money. So if these people that do wake up, they have an opportunity now to obviously do something about it. So the next level is, shit, what do I do? Who's going to help me? Who's going to help me with this kind of stuff, right? And then these people that ask the question, because once you ask this thing a question, its job is to go find the solution. And it does every single time. And people like prayer. What we're taught to pray about our problems. Oh, God, my car doesn't run. Oh, God, my health, it's bad. God doesn't speak English or Hebrew, or it's vibration. So what you put out, you get back. This beautiful life, this field is nothing but a mirror. So what we put out, we get back. So when you focus on the shit, the problem, the lack of money, the job, the bad boss, the car, why does it keep repeating? Because you're asking for it. And when we give it that emotion inside of prayer, we're begging for it. I want more. So what happens in the concept of waking up, changing, is learning that this is everything. The thoughts and the images that we hold that produce words that are all based on our blueprint of belief system. When we understand that that is life, you get what you are here, then it's game over. Until then, going back to my original statement, you're fucked.
Okay, so let's say a man's watching this and he's thinking, yep, I'm fucked. What are you going to say to him to give him some solid steps to get from being fucked to being in control of his state of attraction, vibrational attraction in the quantum field?
Beautiful. So the first step to getting unfucked, as we call it, just because it's a thing. So basically, you want to become self-aware, and this is for men, women, and I know you're specifically talking about men. What happens though is that there's no difference between the human dynamic, women, men. Yes, there are other, but the way we operate in this quantum field and thoughts, words, beliefs, it's all identical. So for men, the biggest thing we have to realize is when we are not self-aware, when I am not aware of everything about me, how the heck can I do anything about it? So it's like saying, I want to get to New York, right? From LA to New York, but I don't know how to get there. I don't have GPS. I don't have a map. I'm not going to ask anybody for help, for directions. I don't know how much gas it's going to take, how much oil it's going to take, what kind of car. I know nothing. Should I take money with me? I know nothing, but I know I want to get there. So a lot of people say, I want to be rich, right? That's everybody's thing. Not everybody wants to be a great husband or a great father, but they want to be rich because when they're rich or wealthy, guess what? I'm going to fix my relationship with my wife. I'm going to buy my kids there. So we focus, the society focuses so much on monetary possession and stature, because again, it's the fuckery, it's the matrix, and that's what's being indoctrinated to all of us. Because when you achieve those things, well, of course, you're going to be hot, you're going to be sexy like women. Women have cleavage, right? So you can post 1,000 pictures of women with cleavage and they're going to get attention from both sides because it's what sells. Men don't have cleavage. We don't just go up there and put, pictures of me on Instagram saying hello. I'm not going to get the same attention. But if I show you my bank account or my Ferrari or my Lamborghini or my mansion, I got your attention because not you women, but society is trained to know that men are supposed to be successful. And if they're not, they're pieces of shit. And women have to show off through physical attributes. So for men, becoming aware is your number one task. Really figure out what you're about. Once you know what you're about, then now you have opportunity to focus on a direction. And you can now start creating goals. Hey, I know I am this way today. I behave like this. I have these fears. I have these phobias. I treat my wife like this, or maybe I need to get a wife, or whatever your situation may be, your tics, your triggers, but that's not necessarily where you want to be. So figuring out now the next step is, great, this is where I am. Where do I want to be? What do I want from this life? What man do I want to be? And once you figure out a nice list of all of the manhood things you want to have in your life to experience, then now you have direction. It's like going to New York. Here's where most people fail, and this happens in business because it's identical. People in business say, okay, I may be broke, but I'm going to make $100,000 or $1 million. All right, cool. So we know where we're at, so we're aware. We know what we want, but here's two things are lacking. How do I get there? How do I get to becoming that man? How do I get to New York? How do I get to the $1 million? And this is now what requires a plan. And this is where, so people don't plan, right? You fail to plan, you plan to fail. So when you don't create a plan to get to the goal, it's not going to happen. Here is where help comes in. Once you become self-aware and it's like, man, I got to be a better man. Get fucking help. Get fucking help. That's all I can, like, the biggest thing I can, like, throw up on everybody listening here, get help and get help fast. Some of you may say, well, I can't afford it. I don't have money. YouTube is free. Go to YouTube. Get help. There's so much information out there. Go to listen to Tony Robbins, Joe Dispenza, Gary Vaynerchuk. Go to Bruce Lipton. Go, my God. I mean, there's so much. Eckhart Tolle. Like, I'm listing off all of my my teachers, some personal and some via video workshops, etc. So number one, become self-aware. Number two, figure out where you want to go, create the goal. And number three, and I'll tell you about number four, because number four is probably the funniest one ever. But number three is to create a plan. Inside the plan, get help, because trust me, if you would know how to get there, you would have done it by now. And this is the problem. People are like, I got it. I'm going to save that $1,000 of coaching. I got it. I'm going to do it. No, you're not going to fucking do it, because you would have done it by now, and you didn't do it because you didn't know how. So if you want to do it, get help. Number four, schedule it. This plan, whatever this plan is, I'm going to make $1 million. All right, cool. Let's work it backwards. And the concept of working things backwards is magic, but you didn't know before, did you? So to work things backwards, like I want to become this man, I want to weigh this much, I want to have this much in the bank, I want to be financially whatever, I want to have this kind of wife, this kind of kids, this house, whatever your manhood is all about. What does it look like? What does it look like? What do you have to do? So let's say that goal is over the next 12 months. I want to become this man in the next 12 months. Okay, cool. So to get that in 12 months, let's work it backwards to figure out what it is that I need to do every single day to get to my goal. And now you say, well, gosh, to get that, lose that weight, get that six pack, put on 20 pounds of muscle, whatever it may be, shit, I got to be in the gym once a day. Okay, for how long? An hour. Awesome. At what time? Now, when you start to schedule for your goal, the self-respect factor kicks in and confidence kicks in, because confidence comes from self-trust. So when you start showing up to you, because all these things that you're doing to become a new man, you're now doing for you. So you committed to doing them. And when you start doing them, because now it's scheduled, just like you have a job or a business, whatever it may be, you show up to that because you got to make money. But now you start showing up to this, your confidence level starts going through the roof, self-esteem, self-love, self-worth, respect, and life will just be very, very different, and you'll be happy and free.
Wow, I love that. Thank you, Andre. Can we go back to, as an adult, what would you say was your deepest, darkest moments?
Suicide. Yeah, I was suicidal. So what launched really this Badassery Factory is a very dark place. So I'm 32, married, hot wife, 2 little babies. Business is amazing. I'm building houses as a designer contractor. I'm building houses for the Lakers. I'm building houses for big CEOs, people with money they didn't know what to do with. So I'm 32. Life is great. It's perfect. And all of a sudden now, it's early morning. I'm driving to a client's house, and I'm in traffic because it's LA, so there's just always traffic. So I'm in traffic, and on as I'm driving, and I have a $100,000 some car, like life was good. So as I'm driving, I start getting blurred vision. I start getting tingling in the face. My chest starts getting tight. My left arm starts going numb. Heart starts to palpitate. And I'm like, I'm 32. I'm healthy. I eat organic shit. What's going on? Anyway, so I get to the client's house. All this shit is getting worse. And by the time I get there, I knock or ring the doorbell. Nobody answers. He's not there yet. And now I'm panicking because I was looking for help. Like, somebody please help me somehow. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I feel like I'm dying. So I call someone that was a sort of a friend, sort of a whatever, this mystical doctor thing. And I said, I got this going on. He says, yeah, you're either a heart attack or a stroke. And I'm like, really? Wrong person to call. So I call 911, they come pick me up, and just to make a long story very short, hours in the emergency room, they run every possible physical test on me, and hours later, they find nothing. They're like, dude, you're like in perfect health, blood work, everything like golden. And I'm like, no, because it doesn't feel like that. It feels like shit. So your machines are wrong. So the doctor comes in, he says, look, take this blue pill, He didn't say blue pill. He just said, take this pill and, let's just see how it goes. So I take this blue pill. 20 minutes later, everything was perfect. So I'm like, what is going on? Doc comes back in. He says, hey, you were just having a big anxiety attack or a panic attack, whatever. So this leads me to answering your question, my darkest moment. So this now leads me into heavy anxiety, heavy panic attacks, and it leads me into depression, and I became suicidal. And this journey here, the suicidal time of my life, the darkest fucking period ever. It's like when, the dark ages that were, back in history where they were run by the Catholic Church, similar, but different. So the concept of being suicidal, it's a place of no hope. It's a place, it's a very selfish place, funny enough, because it's all about you, right? It's my pain. Like nobody ever commits suicide because they're happy. So the pain is so great. One doesn't know what else to do but to end the pain. And the only way to end that pain, because they don't know any other way, is to pull the plug. So in those dark moments, the doctors, of course, gave me boxes of pills, and I'm like, I'm not taking them. I'm against all this. Like our daughters, we never gave them anything, so we're just against all that. So I never took any pills, but I attacked figuring out, what is this? How is it possible that a grown-ass man like me, 32, successful across the board, I thought, except here, could possibly be feeling this, right? Because it was just nothing but fear. Yes.
Andre, I just want to step back into that moment where you were contemplating suicide, and you did say it was a feeling of hopelessness. Can you expand on that? And for those of us that haven't been there, help us to understand what is going on in your mind and your body where you just feel there's absolutely no other choice.
Yeah. So, it's not something I think about. I deal with it in my coaching business, but like right now, you're taking me into a place of having to go back and, feel through it again. It's such an emptiness that there's nothing left. There's no God. There is no Satan. There is no help. There is no pill I can take. It's fucking over, right? So, anybody that knows a map of consciousness by Dr. David Hawkins, you have from 0 to 1,000, but the closer you inch to 0, lights out. So the process of getting through shame, guilt, anger, etc., on one's way to feeling depleted, it's literally nothing. And what's amazing is this conscious evil ego, and I call it that because what this thing is here to destroy. Like, that's just exactly where I'm at. Because in those moments, the images that would be created from this thing were me with the gun right here pulling the fucking trigger. Obviously, I never did it. But where the fuck is that from? Where's that manifested, right? So this thing, and that's why I go back to life, is this field. What I have in my life today, this field gives me nothing but what I have here. So there are levels of consciousness. There are levels of vibration that are simply hell. Where's hell? Well, it's over there. It's in the lower parts of the map of consciousness. Been there. Horrible, nasty, evil, dark. So these levels of consciousness, it's, I we'll look at it this way. Let's say you're in a 10-story building. Well, at level 1, you're going to get, that's hell. You're going to get everything that lives in hell. Level 2 is just going to be a little bit better. Level 3, better. 4, better. 5, better. 5 is actually love, right? Based on the map of consciousness. Then you go to joy, etc. You get to the penthouse, and that's woohoo. But on floor 1, that's where all the evil lurks, right? All the shit. So when we go there, people think, well, God doesn't want me to do this. No, you're just put yourself in level 2, so you're going to get level 2 shit. God doesn't want that, or universe or field. We create whatever the fuck we want. And I was simply creating my fucking world. And obviously after years of working on it, and I went through thousands of hours of therapists and hypnotherapists and Tony Robbins and events and seminars and coaches. I mean, my God, I consumed, because I was committed. I had a goal. Remember the goal? I had a goal, create a freaking plan, scheduled it, and magic happened. So understanding that I created all of it. It was my fear around what was happening in my life. I thought I was a fraud, because I'm building houses for Lakers. I'm building, millions of dollars of stuff. I'm 32. Like, did I really know what I was doing? Somewhat. At 32, whatever I knew I was doing, but was I great at sales? Fuck yeah. So I'm like, I'll build you any house you want. Got you. Then I would go figure it out. So in that process, for me, I was at some level living a lie. So, and I'm backing up for a reason, because nobody gets to the level of the concept of suicide just because. No, there's a process. And it's all self-made. It's all self-made. So I did that. I created it. I created that place called hell for me. And in that moment, it was so dark. I remember like fighting through moments where I thought it was over, it would be over, like contemplating, do I? And I remember having this thought, feeling, whatever it was, that when I come out of this, I will create systems that can help people either not get here or get the fuck out much faster than I did. Yeah. And that's the birth of what we do today.
Exactly. And I was going to ask you about that, because I love Power versus Force, Force versus Power by Richard Hawkins that you mentioned. It's an amazing book to understand the levels of awareness, emotional awareness. Yep. So let's say that a man, I know it could be men or women, but I do like this, the energy of you speaking to other men coming through here. A man feels he's spiraling down. And he's spiraling down to a point where he can see that he can't get out of it, and inevitably he might reach that suicidal point.
Yeah.
What are you going to say to him?
Well, so here I can say, as a coach, I have very specific processes that I take people through, but here, become self-aware. It goes back to the same thing, because when you're spiraling, that means that your thoughts and your images and your words that you're using based on your beliefs, your blueprint, are showing up in life. Well, stop it. Stop it. If the thing that you're doing is bringing a result that you don't like or want, fucking stop. Why would you keep going? Right? So simple stuff like people eat certain foods and they get upset stomach. So now they got to take Pepto-Bismol. I don't know if you guys have it there in Australia, but and they live on the shit. He's like, oh, I got heartburn. I got to take Pepto-Bismol. So I'm thinking like years and years and years. I'm like, at what point do you stop that thing that burns? You keep sticking your fucking hand in the fire. Whoa. So this is but we're laughing, but this is a serious epidemic in today's society. People don't stop to become self-aware. Like, ask why. Why is this stuff happening? Why am I getting stomach reflex, flux, whatever it's called, right? Why am I spiraling down? Why is money not showing up? Why does my wife cheat on me? Why does money keep disappearing? Why did I get fired from the job? Why did the business not sell shit? Nobody stops. What we do, though, we're very good at blaming, because the ego mind has to protect the identity that we talked before right here, this identity. We got to protect the blueprint, baby, because it's mine. And it's the only thing that feels safe. So any change would do what? Make me look like a fraud. So you have to become self-aware very, very fast. Like, literally stop and say, why is this shit happening right now? What did I do yesterday, the day before, a month ago, 6 months ago? Because that's how, for me, I figured out why I became suicidal and anxiety and all the shit, because I created all of it 100%. So becoming aware is number one. Number two, find your fucking balls again. Now I'm talking to men. So I'm going to pause you for a minute, but hey, guys, find your fucking balls again. Here's the problem. We've become little bitches. We're here to hunt and gather. That's it. Anything else outside of that is not what we're supposed to do. This is what mainstream media and governments and societies and all this bullshit, even religion, is taking certain levels of wax at manhood and who men are supposed to be. Get your fucking balls back, become a man again, and things will be just fine. But remember, your job is to hunt and gather, protect your family, respect your family, treat your wife like a queen. That's the only way I can be a king, is by treating her like a queen.
Yeah.
So get self-aware and get your fucking balls back. Stop washing dishes, guys. Stop doing fucking laundry. I mean, there's an epidemic today. There's an epidemic. We're doing house chores. No, go make more money, because that's what's going to keep your fucking family safe. Go make more money, start another business, get a coach, do bigger things, hire somebody to wash your dishes.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you know how many men and friends, acquaintances? I don't have friends that wash dishes on purpose. How many men today wash dishes and do laundry because the wife also has a job?
Yeah.
Wow. And look, whatever works for your family, but if we're talking about what men are supposed to do and women are supposed to do, then I'm not, and this is not, what's the word? Chauvinist. This is not chauvinist conversation by any means. I want to be very, very clear. Men, we operate from the first chakra. The first chakra is everything worldly: money, tangible goods, business, success, protection, hunt, gather. And you're washing fucking dishes? You're doing laundry? What kind of softener are you using? And there's that. And that sums up a big, big problem in the world today.
Right. What would you say is your number one value as a man today, Andre? Or we can do 3 values if you think, it's hard to choose, but as the man you are today, what are your 3 biggest values?
My number one is truth. And for me, that's big in everything in life. I happen to be a Libra, so I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but I always look for balance, whatever that means. But truth for me is everything. And I mean truth in everything. Truth in a relationship, truth in my daughters and I, truth in my finances, truth in literally everything that I touch. I want the truth, because guess what? Anything, an ounce, an inch outside of 100% truth is false. It's fake. It's a lie. Yeah. So for me, it's just number one, this conversation, I'm giving you 100% me. So trust is number 2. And maybe 3 is love, but maybe they're one and the same, because I don't believe anyone can love without trust. So maybe 2 and 3 sort of hybrid, but trust, being able to have a confidant, to trust me, to have self-confidence, for me to be confident, and to have trust in someone else, and for someone else to trust me. Huge, because trust can only be based on what? Truth. So we have truth, there's trust automatically, and now we can go to a place called love. And that gets us to level 500 in the map of consciousness by Dr. David Hawkins.
But I'd like to go back to truth, Andre, and you're very big in the truther movement, so we're very aware, many people are aware of the changes and the disclosures in external truth. How would you describe the journey to internal truth? Because there's a huge difference, isn't there?
Yeah. It goes back to, funny enough, it's going back to the same thing of becoming self-aware, because I believe there's a creator. Some people call him God, some people call her God. Some people believe in the universe. Some people believe that it's all just one matrix and it's whatever. It doesn't matter. That matters not. What matters to me is the fact that there's a creator that created this phenomenal thing. This physical body we haven't been able to figure out 100% just yet. So this intelligence somewhere is pretty badass. So I believe that we all, when there's that spark of life, whether it's when the egg and the embryo come together, whether it's your first breath, when the umbilical cord is cut, I don't fucking know. But what I do know is that we're all different, and there are not two of us that are identical. Okay, why? Which sort of gets me to my point that we're so different that we're that special. So you have a gift, a talent, a spark at the time of creation from God, from the tree. I don't care what you call it. And so do I. So inside of that talent, inside of that gift is the answer to my truth. Because it's instilled in me by this thing, the field, stars, whatever. I mean, literally whatever, right? Like we do astrology charts. And it's like, well, at the time of your birth, this was in Uranus and all right, cool. Sorry, I had to. I'm like, that's why this thing happened, because I had stuff in my, all right. So there's that saying that God's gift to you is your talent, and what you do with it is your gift to God.
Love that.
So from that perspective, inner truth is that, because what sets us free? What's the only thing that sets us free? Truth. So to be truly, truly free, you have to be in truth. To be in truth, you have to know thyself. If you don't know thyself, you don't know the truth, because the truth can only be inside. That's going to set you free. That's it.
I love it. Where does the heart come into this?
The fourth chakra. Let's talk about it. I believe the heart center is another conscious level. So I believe there are three brains, if you will, or three levels of consciousness within our system. So we have the gut feeling, and you got to go with your gut on that decision. So that's another part of the brain. Or the brain, I know, is a physical thing, but conscious levels within the system. So the heart center, the fourth chakra, is where we feel. Like you don't have emotions in your elbow, right? Unless right now you tell me, yes, I do. And I'm like, holy shit, we got to talk. Gemma has emotions in her elbow, damn it.
I do when I bump it sometimes.
I knew it. Oh boy. So this fourth chakra, the energy center, the emotional system, is the subconscious mind. We store in here all of our past, whether it's past lives, this life, whatever you want to believe in. It doesn't matter. That's what's cool. So what we feel is the magnetism that pushes the electricity, because we are nothing but electromagnetic beings. So we have an electricity up here that goes thought, image, word, electricity. And now when emotion kicks in, that's the magnet that pushes or pulls and puts things into perspective, into life, etc. So love is, we call it love, this thing. Is it a feeling, or is love an act? Don't know, but I know it's a magnetic pull and push, right? Scientifically. So I believe that the blueprint that we've been talking about is 100% here inside of the subconscious mind, which is the fourth chakra, the heart center, the love center. So for us to access this thing, this blueprint, the subconscious mind, there are two ways to go in there and change shit up. Like, hey, I don't like the blueprint of me being a jerk to so-and-so. All right, what do we do? Well, it's because now it's a pattern because we're creatures of habit. So now I have this habit of I'm just a jerk, I'm a jerk, I'm a jerk, I'm a jerk, but it's based on a belief I have because that person's an asshole. So I have to be a jerk to an asshole. That's a belief I have. So jerk, 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 because obviously you're an asshole. My identity kicks in. I got to keep it real. I got to keep it alive. Bam. So the only way for me to go in and shift that is either through repetition. So I can now take on a different tactic. For example, that person's still a jerk. I need to realize that I'm not going to change that person. That person doesn't affect my life. You can be a jerk all you want. Boom. So clarity, self-aware. But number two, now I'm going to change it around like God bless you, or I am powerful. So I get to replace every time I see that person, I replace it with something that supports me. And after I do it 1,000 times, I will be free of that. Yes. So I can either do it through repetition or I can go through hypnosis, hypnotherapy, hypnosis, etc. They can access subconscious mind and it can be replaced in minutes. So that's the the beautiful love center. That's the heart center.
That's fascinating. How important is it for men to connect with this journey of the heart and integrate it with the mind?
Oh my Lord. Best question yet. It's so fucking important. It's and this is part of the fuckery in the matrix that they look to separate us from the heart, right? Because men don't cry, boys don't cry, toughen up, act like a man. Really? So a man is supposed to beat his wife? A man is supposed to get drunk and beat the kids? That's a man? No. A man, the man, because remember, we're built the same. We have a heart center. We have emotions, which are nothing but energy in motion. So we feel, but we're taught not to feel. So when we don't feel, what happens? We suppress these emotions, and guess what happens now? We become angry, and we become mean, and we become not good enough, and we become not enough, and we'll never amount to anything. So when we get angry, what do? We have to take it out on somebody else, because I'm not going to take it out on me. So let me be an asshole to my wife. Let me go fuck up my business. Let's go develop some self-sabotaging patterns to prove to my blueprint that I'm right. So how important is it? It's probably the most crucial thing that needs to happen in today's society for men. Forget everything you've been taught. It's a fucking lie. Stop watching the news. Stop watching media. Stop watching Hollywood films, because all these films, the subliminal messaging in all films, all cartoons made by these bad, evil motherfuckers is there to tear you apart. That's it. That's it. There's no such thing as transgender. There's no such thing as binary neutral. There's a penis and there's a vagina. If you're a man, you have a penis. That's it. Don't confuse the two. Because remember, you step outside of truth, there's pain. Inside of truth is freedom. You want to be free. You want to be happy. Stay in fucking truth. And if you're a man, because I'm talking to men, damn it, give yourself permission. And it's something I had to learn. Because my father, remember, he was, dogmatic, and it's like this. And I'm like, no. It's, be tough, be a man. But I had to learn to give myself permission to feel. My wife is a very emotional human being. She feels fucking everything, right? Like if I'm 1% off today, she's like, what's wrong? What's going on? I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But so she's, funny enough, she's been a big part of me growing and giving myself permission to feel, to communicate, to fucking let it go, it's okay to be weak in a moment. It's okay to have moments of doubt. It's okay to, fall on your fucking ass, but get back up. You feel weak, great, deal with it, get strong again. You're a man. Man is supposed to be man. We're the protector. So if you're not protecting your wife and your family, then you must be doing dishes or laundry.
I'm interested, Andre, what you would say to women. How can we facilitate a man's journey into his heart? Like, what did your wife do that helped you?
Food and sex is the funny answer. On a serious note, it really goes back to the trust. Once I learned that I can trust my wife and we are one, and we are going back to that foundation that we will always build upon or rebuild upon, because that's foundation is solid. I learned to trust her, that it was okay for me to open up. It was okay for her to pull shit out of me, because otherwise it wouldn't come out. And if it wouldn't come out, it's going to turn into something else, right? Some kind of anger, resentment, some kind of physical shit. I mean, I was, 30 to 40 pounds overweight for the last 10 years or so, more, 15 years, right? And only in the last 6 months did I drop the 40 pounds for many reasons. But I had to learn that the shit that we men hold on to, they physicalize. They will show up somehow, whether it's weight, whether it's over drinking, drugs, smoking, some kind of dis-ease. It's going to show up somehow. It's going to show up in your behavior towards money, towards business, towards relationships. It's going to show up, meaning it's going to come out.
Yes.
Energy does not stagnate. The only time we stagnate is when we die.
Yeah.
Today, as long as you have breath in you, energy goes either up or down, and that's it. That's law. So what to do is just let go, like fucking let go. This image that we have to be these badasses and tough men. I cannot show emotion. Damn it. Fuck all that. Literally, that's the biggest lie that they fed us, and we believed for a long time, but it was by design. Oh, so many negative things came out of that doctrine. But today you have the opportunity to simply let go. I'm not saying to become a bitch. I'm not saying to start crying all the time. Get help if you do. But it's okay to be emotional and vulnerable. I think being vulnerable for me was something I had to learn and trust, that it's okay to have moments of vulnerability, weakness, emotion, sadness. It's okay, but get the fuck out. That's the trick.
Wow. So if a man has never ever been in touch with his feelings before, how does he start? How does he open up that? Because he's scared that if he starts turning on that, what you call faucet tap, it will just continue, and he'll feel out of control.
Well, so number one, let the fear go. I guess that's the first thing I would say. If you're going into anything with fear, stop it. Number two, meditation is going to be your biggest bang for the buck. And I go back to YouTube. There are millions of videos and tutorials and guided meditations. Learn to meditate. Here's what happens in meditation. I mentioned that men, we operate from the first chakra, which is down by your wah-wah, and women operate from the fourth chakra, which happens to be the heart center. That's why women are very emotional. They're very communicative, and we are hunt, gather, got to make money, protect, right? So very two different species. Understanding the 7 chakras and the centers of energy and vibration, you now can tap into these centers of vibration by quieting the mind. Quieting the mind is the trick, because this guy does not stop. Its job is to create pain and chaos. It keeps you in the loop. You're always worried, always thinking, always got to do something. Oh my God, what's going to happen? And then we start thinking about the future. Then anxiety kicks in. We start thinking about the past. Depression kicks in. Fuck. Learning to control this muscle, because it's nothing but a muscle. Learning to replace what I call the chat room with here is the power. So this is the battle of evil and God. God against the enemy. God against the enemy. So if I'm able to take 60 seconds right now and literally focus on God, spirit, the fourth chakra, and I'm just literally here through breathing, through tapping, through focused on what my lungs are doing, what my abdomen is doing. I'm focused for 60 seconds. Bam, and I'm fully here in this moment. That means I did not have a thought for that 60 seconds. 2 pieces of matter cannot occupy the same space at the same time. I'm going to say it again. two pieces of matter cannot occupy the same space at the same time, which means what? It means that I cannot hold a negative thought and a positive thought at the same time. I cannot have a negative emotion and a positive emotion at the same time. I cannot have a thought. I cannot focus here on a thought and be focused here at the same time. Which means what? It's choice. So the best way to tap into that emotional center is to learn to meditate. You got to tell your mind to shut the fuck up. Empower your God center, the spirit, the fourth chakra, the subconscious mind, empower it. And because I'm telling you, this is where the power is. And then that's step one. Step two, once you learn how to empower here and stop this because it's been replaced by here, now you want to go up into the pineal gland and light that puppy up. Because when you start lighting up that pineal gland and you start attracting through it and manifesting through it and creating through it, wow, just wow.
Okay, so that's beautiful. You've taken us on the steps of how a man can start feeling his heart and his emotions. And I mean, ultimately, as you said now, we want to integrate it with the mind. We want to balance the masculine and the feminine and bring it out through creation, the pineal gland. What have you got to say about all that? How does a man make that work?
Well, so number one, it's been the biggest fraud in history, meaning that this concept of the third eye, the pineal gland, it's our antenna. It is our connection to everything the divine, right? So cathedrals used to literally be cathode reels. So cathedrals, if you study this shit and go back to Tartaria and really, really study this stuff, you'll understand that these cathedrals were fucking antennas that we would connect to, and then they stopped all of that and they covered the windows and they modified them and told us that third eye is from Satan. If the Bible doesn't talk about it, you can't use it. I was brought up Catholic, so that's how they talked to us at that time. And then you now start looking into what they fed us, right? So go back 50, 60 years and look at the plan to destroy humanity. It's been longer than that, but it's been actual like a physical attack plan to basically reduce population for a few reasons. But what puts this thing to sleep? What covers it up? And once you start doing research on what you're intaking through your foods, through the beverages you consume, what's in your water, how toxic is your water? Is there fluoride? Is there aluminum? Look at the deodorant you use. Look at the body lotion you consume. Look at the foot cream you use. Look at what's being sprayed in the skies. Look at the vitamins you're taking. I mean, you literally have to stop and become self-aware again. It's another form of becoming self-aware because you are technically what you absorb. And you can absorb through the mouth. You can absorb audibly. You can absorb visually. You can absorb through the skin. You can absorb. So that's what you really are physically. And all these things affect every single part of your DNA. So people say, how is it possible that you take the world? They invented this pandemic. They said, woohoo, Wuhan lab. They launched this thing. They showed a few videos of people in Wuhan, China, pop, falling over, videos everywhere, scare the fuck out of everybody. Oh, there's a virus. Okay, cool. Everybody has to wear a mask. So just like this, almost the whole fucking globe puts on a mask. Then they brought out the juice that goes in the arm. So I don't use the word because I don't know where you're posting this, but you get the point.
YouTube.
There you go. So the juice for the arm, how many people took it? How many people took number 2? How many people took number 3? How about the boosters? How about the second booster? How about the third booster? How about the pill? How about the... But the question is why? So I'm going back to the pineal gland. What makes us fight? What makes us take action? What makes us the powerful humans that we are through this amazing antenna called the pineal gland? It's this. So Hitler in the camps would use fluoride, heavy levels of fluoride in the water that they would feed all the inmates. How many of them fought? 0.
Mhm.
Zero. So you look around the world today, what's in our food, what's in our water, what's in the air, what are they spraying? Fluoride. So, and so many aluminums, barium, aluminum, there's so much shit they're feeding us and spraying us. The point though is, once you become conscious, you now have a choice and you have a responsibility as to what to do. Because you say, well, shit, my pineal gland is calcified. That's it. It's over. I'm done. Or you can be the other type of person and say, well, shit, what do I do? Is there a way to fix it? Can I clean it? Can I decalcify? Can I de-cleanse? Use some olive oil. Don't drill your, it's not like that. Like, don't try putting shit in there. There are ways to decalcify. There are ways to actually do the right thing. So the pineal gland is literally one of the biggest treasures in humanity that's been hidden from us, taken away from us. And obviously this is why we're in the Great Awakening, because beautiful stuff is happening. We're having a conversation about it today. So if this conversation reaches 100 people and they change their life because of this, boom, you've done a phenomenal job.
Oh, amazing. Can you give us one way that we can decalcify our pineal gland?
Stop eating shit.
Right. Okay.
I mean, that's see, I have these like ready to go smart
but
ass.
it's good. It's simple.
Oh, well,
it's
thank
good.
you.
No, I'm a bit the same. You know, the answer's so obvious, and we feel sometimes we have to soften it and package it into a presentable way. But hey, truth. Hey, we speak truth. So it's good. Andre, are you okay to carry on for a bit longer? We've hit about just over the hour mark.
Yeah, so I'm trying to see. Okay, maybe another 10. Is that cool?
Great, thank you. Well, let's wrap it up by, what advice have you got for men who are maybe in a challenging place, struggling on their journey at the moment?
I believe men today more than ever have lost their way because they have to do things. They have to go to the job. They have to make the car payment. They have to make the mortgage. They have to look a certain way. They have to drive a certain car. They have to show up to the Christmas party with certain gifts. They have to. They got themselves in a marriage that maybe where they're not happy for whatever reason. So they have to keep doing certain things. Maybe they're cheating on their spouse, so they have to play two roles. Maybe they have two families. I know people that have two families. I mean, fuck, that's got to be expensive. But anyway, so I think men put themselves in a societal trap because of the have-tos. So again, it goes back to becoming self-aware. Like, start asking yourself why. Why am I doing all this fucking shit? And I cuss for a reason. One, for me, it's like salt on food. But two, when I do this and I coach and I'm on stage and I'm here, I use the word fuck or whatever it may be to get your fucking attention, because otherwise you're going to keep sleeping. You're going to keep doing the same shit you did yesterday. Look at your life. It's a fucking movie that 90% of it, I'm not exaggerating, 90% of your every fucking day is identical. 90% of your day is identical. So what? So you made a movie, so you're a movie producer, now you're the star, and you do the same shit on a fucking loop like a hamster wheel. No fun. So you have to interrupt that pattern. You have to break it and say, shit, whoa, man. We wake up the same. We go to the bathroom the same. The coffee is the same pattern. We use the same hand to get the coffee mug. We use the same fucking coffee mug. We get the same flavor in our mouth from coffee, same emotional trigger that gets here. Oh, the coffee. Oh, it feels so good. It reminds me of, mornings with my God, it's the same fucking movie. You should be tired of it, right? Like, you didn't win an Oscar. Stop it. So I think we have the fight has to come back. Men are missing a fight. I look at those beautiful rocks, the power behind you. I mean, that's power, right?
Yeah.
And that represents the male stuff, right? Balls.
Yeah.
Right? So that's my point about getting our balls back, getting and I'm not talking about becoming egotistical and doing this thing from an ego place of, well, I'm a man, so you better shut the fuck up, woman. No, 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 no. I'm talking about being a man, a respectful, honorable king.
Yeah.
So treat her like a queen. Treat your kids with fucking respect so they adore you. Here's how you know if you're a good dad.
Yeah.
You walk in the house. If your kids run up to you and daddy, 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 you're a good father. If they don't, fix it, because there's a fucking problem. So, so the biggest message is, I think, get the fight back, find your fucking balls again, get the fight back, and really figure out what you're supposed to do in this life. Remember, God gave you a talent. Are you using it? If you are, use it more. If you're not, start using it, because you're not just wasting your time, you're wasting his time or her time or its time, whatever. How much longer do you want to keep this up? It's up to you. It starts with a decision like, shit, this is it. I'm done with the old me. I'm taking on new patterns, new beliefs, new prayers, new whatever. Do something new, interrupt the old pattern, fuck that movie, and listen, make yourself a new movie every day. And I'll give you guys a little exercise, because most people don't understand what it's like to create. And this is meditation. First of all, learn how to meditate so you understand how to center and be in a really solid place. And then this is a little NLP exercise. You close your eyes, and I want you to imagine going into a movie theater, and the movie theater is empty, and it's just you. You're going to sit in the back row, perfect center. And now you're looking at the screen, and it's lit up, but it's blank. It's just a white screen. And now you're going to put yourself on that screen, and you're going to create your next 30 days. What are you going to do Monday? What are you going to do Tuesday? How about Wednesday? How about Thursday? What's Friday going to look like? Is there a weekend, Saturday, Sunday? Cool. Week number 2, what are you going to do? And now you get to visualize and create your future, because you do anyway. Your thoughts and your shit up here create your future anyway, because you get what you are. This exercise here will teach you exactly how to get what it is you actually want, as opposed to the things that you don't want. That's why people are like, oh, how come it keeps happening? How come I don't have money? How come my wife is nagging again? Because you fucking created it. You want different? Create it. And you can have exercises to actually do that, as opposed to just hope that it happens or it works. Take action. Find your balls and fight.
Wow. Andre, any last words before you can share where people can find you?
So, gosh, I love humanity. And what does that mean to me? I really love humanity. It's hokey pokey. I love people. I love the concept that God, a creator, somehow made us. And I really love that. And I'm not from a religious place like, oh, Jesus gave. It's not about that for me. It's about this creation of this ability and this constant evolutionary choice that we have to be better, become better, do better, and be free. And this monumental possibility inside of each one of us to be happy and free is what excites me.
I love that. And freedom is the masculine motivation, right? Whereas love is the feminine, and we have to balance and harmonize both. But would you say that freedom is the motivation of the masculine?
Absolutely. Motivation, adventure is a big part of that. I really feel like trust, because we were talking about trust earlier. I really feel trust is a big deal for men, and I'll tell you why. Like, for example, women, you need to be loved, right? Like, if you are loved, you're good. I don't need to be loved. I need to be respected. I need to be trusted and respected. So for me, respect, trust is a big deal. So yes, motivation to fight, to create, it's inside of each one of us. If you happen to have an amazing partner, that partner should do nothing but lift you up, pick you up, love you, respect you, honor you, and you'll fucking fly. If you don't have one, you'll attract one by the exercise I just gave you. Yay. My wife just brought me a glass of wine, so cheers to you all.
Cheers, Andre.
Hey, here's George. I see, there it is. That's so
Got
cool.
my coffee.
Yeah.
Well, I have mad respect and honor for you, and I thank you so much for sharing your amazing wisdom with us. Where can people find you,
So
Andre?
yeah, thank you for that. The easiest is the website where you have all social media handles. You have all the email subscriptions, all that fun stuff. It's badasseryfactory.com. A simple way to get there is to get on our SMS list, which is texting the word badass to 55444, badass to 55444, and through that you'll get everything, our website, email system, etc. So that's going to be the simplest way to get us. And soon, through the new publication George, that's launching soon, that's an exciting one. I'm as you know, I'm going to be the success editor of George, and obviously a huge honor. But for those of you that don't know about it yet or are still looking into it, go to georgeonline.com, drop your email address in there, and you'll be alerted as soon as it releases, and you can get the online version or the print version. Whew, I wrote my first article and I'm freaking lit. It's exciting, damn it.
When's the first edition coming out?
I don't know.
But you're ready. You've written it. That's amazing.
Oh yeah, it's submitted. It's been edited. Yeah. It's been woo. Now it's ready. It's amazing. The whole thing's amazing. My God, what a moment in history to be a part of. What a wow! Like this is history. One day we're gonna look back, say, hey, remember when this stuff happened? Craziness, just amazing. And that's my excitement about the human potential. It's like, yes. Wow, we can do anything we want.
One last word. What if people are saying, well, what's this George magazine? People that may be, unaware of the significance of it. Can you just tell them give them a brief insight into the how George came about?
Yeah. So, well, so the George magazine from the past, that stopped in 2000, I think January 2001 was the last edition. But this was JFK Jr.'s magazine, for those of you that don't know, and it ran from 1989 through 2001. He theoretically, I can't even have this conversation. I can't say what I was about to say, but there was a plane crash. He may or may not have been in that plane. I can't do this because now I'm an editor of this thing, so I can't. Maybe I still can. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Anyway, so this now is the relaunch of George. And it's not called George Magazine. It's just now called George.
Oh, good to know.
Hey, it's funky.
Thank you.
Yeah, but it's going to have the same edgy push button feel of, JFK Jr., because he was a badass. Yeah. Or maybe he is a badass. Anyway, see, you get me started. We're going to talk stuff.
And on that note, well, wow. Thank you so much, Andre Popa. An absolute honor to have you on, and thank you for your time and your service to humanity.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you doing this. And I'll tell you why. For your audience and anybody listening to this, obviously, if you don't follow Gemma yet, follow her. To do what she's doing is a big deal, because you might be thinking, well, what's a big deal? She's asking questions, doing interviews. She's using her voice. She's using her power to get a message across, to get new ideas across to humanity. Because how many people are sitting on the sidelines saying, when are things going to change? When's it going to get better? When is Trump? When is Biden? And everybody's bitching, complaining, wearing a mask, getting the juice, and bitching and complaining, where Gemma here is actually doing something. So my point is, thank you and congratulations for just being a badass.
Love it. All right. I'm going to wind up the recording now. You can stay on if you like, and I'll just have a final word. Thanks, everyone. I'll be back in a few days with another episode of Heart Warriors.